All right, I see Facebook is not doing the most right now. Hold on. Let's see if it's in there. My face looks a mess, but oh well. Okay, let's see if we actually live. Let's see if I can see it. Oh, let's see, greetings. Hey, Mama. Let's turn this volume off because I don't want to hear the echo. Yes. Let's give it a minute for everybody to get in. I'm waiting on people on Zoom and Facebook. With Facebook, I can see you, so God bless everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That tea is hot. Anyway, happy Monday to you all. It's Tuesday here. Good evening, good night, whatever time of the day it is over there for you all. Hope everybody's blessed and highly favored. Let me go ahead and get my screen up so I can share with you all. Yes, we're getting ready to pray and do what we need to do, but I just pray everybody is well, having the best day possible, and prepared to learn something today. Because that's what we do. And it's 8:03 here, so I'm giving people time to come in. It took me a while, a little bit today to go live. I don't know on Facebook, and that's okay. Today we'll be speaking about pricing, cost, and profit for small businesses, right? So I'm going to be teaching you all about that. Let me swap screens. There we go. I'm going to be teaching you all about understanding cost, how to price and profit for your small business. You know, we do have some very important things coming up in regards to learning more spiritual things. Some of the training that we have coming for Wednesday is very imperative that people are here, that you're punctual, and that you get in and do what you can do. Right? So glad everybody's doing well. Everybody's great. Sound a little raspy, but it's okay. I got my hot tea. Sinuses won't take me out today. All right. So hope everybody's ready to get started. I'm gonna go ahead and pray first, and then we'll dive in. To everybody else who's coming into Zoom, you should be able to just get in. Um, but I'm looking to make sure that, you know, in case I have to administratively accept you in, that we can do that. So happy Monday. Hope you all have a blessed and beautiful week. Let's go ahead and pray. Abba, Father, Abba, we come to you today just thanking you for life, health, and strength. Help us to have open hearts today, open ears, and be receptive of all things seen, all things heard, and to do our due diligence. We go and be better people and do what it is that you've called us to do. We praying over all minds, all hearts, all people, all situations. We know our reality. We create our reality. To put positive energy, positive vibes, and to function on a higher frequency. So we just want to say thank you for today. Thank you for all things. Thank you for being you. Thank you for giving us the strength that we need. And thank you for connecting us to the right resources, the right relationships, and opening us up to be the best version of ourselves for your greater glory. To God be the glory, the honor, and all praise. It is so. Amen. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. Blessings to everybody. If you're new here, thank you. Welcome. I hope you get something out of this. I hope it's a benefit to you. So for all my people in the USA, I'm in Japan right now. Don't worry about this background. That's what's happening. The world is yours. All right. So About 2 weeks ago, we went over pricing. I think that went a little too fast for people, so we had to just go ahead and turn that mic off. We had to just go ahead and run this back one time. So I wanted everybody to understand. I have more examples today that I'm going to speak from, and this should help you, right? So as you can see my screen, understanding pricing, cost, and profit for small businesses, okay? So each business is a little bit different. So whether you're doing food, whether you're doing clothing, whether you have a side business that you're trying to establish into a small business, we're going to give you different examples today, just to help you get to where you need to be. So the question of the day, how do small businesses set their prices, manage their costs, and ensure profitability? Well, you're going to learn today. All right. We'll go through different business types, including online retail, food services, group homes, homemade goods. And along the way, I'll provide examples and scenarios to make sure that it's easier for you to understand all these concepts. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to everybody online. All right. Now, I did this technically for Nini, but anyway, we're going to try exercise clothing first, right? So let's start with Ecstasy Galore, an online business selling exercise clothing. Y'all, it could be any type of clothing. Right now, I'm just saying exercises, right? A lot of people like to sell those waist trainers and tank tops. Look, it's all kind of stuff. Go look at the page, and that's gonna help you out. Okay. So we're gonna start with Ecstasy Galore, an online business selling exercise clothing, right? The goal is to price products high enough to cover the cost and generate profit while staying competitive, right? Because if you're a clothing company, somebody else may be selling the same thing. You want to do what? Stay competitive. So you have to know how to price your products that you're selling, whether it's a product or a service. You have to know how to price it so that you can cover the cost of you actually getting the products and for you to make a profit, right? Everybody with me? Good. All right. There are two types of main costs. Fixed costs, right? Like when you go to get a website and hosting and marketing, those are fixed price. Variable cost, that's things that can change, right? It fluctuates. So we're talking about stuff such as your fabric. If they go up on the cotton, then your price is going to go up, right? If they go up on the food, okay, them chicken wings is going up. So things like that. Shipping, if they go up on shipping, guess whose prices are going to rise? Those taxes and tariffs that you see Trump playing around with. Well, if you getting your stuff from China, prices just went up. See that? So that's the different types of costs. Fixed, set rates, right? And variable. Things change, right? A little fickle. Anything could happen. All right. So that's what we want to go over. So I gave you some examples here just so you could see what the variable costs are, what the fixed costs are, right? Now, to determine the selling price, what would you do? You can use the markup formula, which is I put here. All right. So think about it this way. If you want to price something, what is your selling price? So your selling price equals your cost price plus your markup. Don't nobody get lost yet. I'm going to give you examples. It's not hard. I just put the formulas there so that you can see it. Right? I'm going to give you a scenario, examples, and everything. So stick with me. Now, that's how you get it. So here's the scenario for you. All right. Let's say Ecstasy Galore wants to sell a pair of workout leggings, right? So here's how the pricing might work for them. This is what they would do. So if the fabric in production, wherever you're getting it from, right, costs $12, and the packaging and shipping costs $5, right? However you're marketing, whether on social media or your own web address, you can say that's $3, right? So what's your total cost? $20. Your fabric and production, remember to get them, is $12. Your packaging and shipping costs what? $5. Your website and your marketing costs $3. 12 plus 5 plus 3 equals 20, right? So say you want to make a 50% profit, right? What's half of 20? What's 50% of 20? 10, right? So that's fine. That means you would charge 10 extra dollars. However, just for your pricing calculations, you would say your total amount, which is 20, times 1.5, that equals 30. All you need to know is your percentages. If you want to do 50%, that's what you want to do. If you want to do 30%, 30% in decimal form. So that's up to you, right? Now, people who are selling clothes, just to be smart and to understand what's going on, guess what? I always tell people add in your sales tax. So for Tennessee, we're gonna say 7%, right? Each state is different. I don't know, look it up. Now, so what's your sales tax? You remember your total price was 20, but you wanted to make 50% profit. 50% of 20 is 30. So guess what? You add in your sales tax, 30 times 0.07. Where did I get that from? The 7% of the sales tax, right? That's just $2.10. That's what you would add in. So your final price will be $32.10. Why would you do that? If you're selling clothing, right? Food, anything that you have to pay taxes on a sales tax, you want to make sure that that's included in your price, right? That's what you all need to know. Okay. So here's another breakdown. Let's go through it one more time because I want to make sure y'all can understand. Remember, the fabric and the manufacturing of these leggings is $12. You can see the package and the shipping is $5. The marketing and website that she pays for each month, right? We're just gonna say $3 for every item she sells, right? So the total is $20. 12 plus 5 plus 3, $20. Nene wants to make a 50% profit. What's 50% of the total of 20? It's $10. So now the price is $30, right? And if you wanted to calculate that, that's fine. You can just multiply it by the percentage. So if you want to put 20 times 1.5, that's up to you. All right. I added in the sales tax because when you're selling clothing, when you're selling food and all these other things, at the end of the year, when you have to pay sales tax, you don't need that coming out your pocket. That needs to be in your price, right? So if you add everything up, you get what? $32.10. Okay. So that's what the customer pays. But your business makes what? $10. Remember, she wanted to make 50% markup. The total cost was 20. When she added everything in, she got the 30. She added in the sales tax, $32.10. Okay, the $2.10, that's for the sales tax, right? 30 minus 20 is what? 10. So we're gonna keep going over different examples. Don't panic. And a lot of people I know say, hey, I'm not good at math. Y'all, it's fine. We're doing simple math right now. But say you're not good at math and you don't want to have to go through this for everything. Guess what? They have equipment for all of this. There's nothing that you have to go crazy about, right? QuickBooks or other accounting software, they can track your inventory, your sales, and your expenses, right? A lot of people who are working from home and you say, well, how do I know how much shipping is going to cost? Well, you know, I'm saying UPS, FedEx, USPS, everybody, they have systems that can track your items. They can tell you how much it's going to cost to ship depending on whatever zip code. Life is a lot easier than it was 10, 15 years ago. They have software that can help you with your pricing, right? How much it's going to cost in your sales tax and QuickBooks, that's already there. You put the state, what you're doing. So if you need help with your inventory, okay, I only have 10 pair of leggings left. QuickBooks can help you. Okay, how much this costs to ship over here? You can incorporate shipping in there, right? And if you don't want to do QuickBooks and you want to do some other stuff online, fine. The different places you go to ship these things out, they have a software too that you can use. All right. Put them on a scale, whatever you need to do, so that you can have that money, your fees already in there, that you don't have to go back and forth. Okay. So you don't have to worry about miscalculations or not generating your money the correct way. So just get into that. Don't nobody panic. That's the better way to do it. We're gonna go over a couple more examples. I just don't want nobody to panic because I know a lot of people, first thing they say is, oh, I'm not good at math. You're great at math today. Okay. That's what this software is for. All right. Now, I think everybody with me. We're gonna keep pushing. All right. Now, see, here go another example. Guess what we're getting ready to talk about? That's right. If you got a food truck, a food trailer, or a restaurant, all this could apply, right? So, food businesses, right, must consider ingredient costs, labor, packaging, and inflation when pricing their products, right? Because I told you, you got the fixed rate and then you got the variable rate, or the fixed cost and the variable cost, right? Variable, things change, right? If them eggs cost $8, okay, if you ain't not serving breakfast and stuff, guess what? And Fat Joe tell you, the price them went up, okay? Or whichever one of them rappers said it. The price them went up today. So that's for you to think about, right? So since food prices fluctuate, right? Y'all remember 5, 10 years ago, you probably could have went to McDonald's and something got you a cheeseburger for 99 cents. Not no more. Joker's probably $4.99, $5.99. I don't know what's happening in America because I'm in Japan right now, but it's high. Okay. If eggs and milk costing this kind of money, I hate to see what a steak costs right now. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's just the world we living in. We're gonna talk about this next week. Hey, grow your food. We're gonna get in that. Now, I'm just telling you. All right. So since food prices fluctuate, it's important to regularly update your menu prices based on market conditions. You know, y'all thinking, well, who is the market? Your people, right? So if the food market has went up, your prices are doing what? Go up. If something goes down, then you can drop your prices down. Them chicken wings go up, prices go up, right? It's supply and demand. We'll get to that later. So I just want you to understand that. So some variable costs for your food truck or your restaurant could be fuel and labor. Well, if the cost of living has risen in your area, you're not gonna be able to just be super cheap and pay your people anything because they're gonna go where? To a higher paying job, right? In California, gas like $7, $8. I don't know what it is in Tennessee. Let's go with 4. If it costs you more money, you see what I'm saying? In fuel, one, to get your products brought in, your rates are gonna go up, right? That's variable cost. Things change. Sometimes the gas high, sometimes it's low. Um, you know what I'm saying? Labor hit or miss. It depends on if you're hiring full time, part time, sometime, right? Fixed cost, right? So if you have a food trailer or a truck, right? Well, you know the maintenance that you're gonna need. So whether that's tires, whether that's oil change, I don't know, whatever it could be, a new generator, however often that'll be, right? You know each year how much you're gonna pay for permits. You know how much you're paying yearly or monthly for like your insurance. So that makes sense, right? Now, there's nothing you can do about inflation. Only thing we know about inflation is every year it increases. So whatever you're multiplying by this year, just expect for next year for it to be higher. As long as they print money, inflation will continue to rise. So I'm gonna give you some examples. Here we go. Don't get lost. Now, we're gonna say that I run a food trailer, right? Let's price a fried chicken plate. That's right. Y'all know y'all love chicken. Stick with me. That's what it's gonna do for you. Now, chicken. We're gonna say the chicken costs $3.50, right? We're gonna put some rice and sides. We're gonna say that's $1.50, right? The cooking oil and the seasoning. Thank God that ain't high yet. We're gonna say that's 50 cents. All right. So the labor per plate, we're gonna say is $2. Y'all, we just making up numbers right now. I'm gonna get to it. Now, them paper plates or whatever you're using, we gonna say they cost $1, right? Because if it's 100 plates in a pack and you selling 100 plates, well, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta just go too high for that. So we gonna say a total for the chicken and the sides and everything to come with it. Guess what? It's $8.50. That's what I'm going with. Don't worry about the screen right now. I'm giving you an example. Now, if my desired profit is 30%, well, $8.50 times 30% is what? $11. Or you can say $8.50 times 1.3, right? Equals $11. Okay. Well, guess what? We selling food. Guess what they charging me? A sales tax. Remember, in Tennessee, we said 7%. I think it's still 7%. Do your due diligence. These accounting software systems gonna help you. Anywho, we're gonna say the sales tax is 7%. So $11 times 0.07, which ain't number 77 cents. Okay. The final cost would be $11.77. Okay. And yes, I round. Don't worry about it. You need to do that too. Right. So this is what I want you to consider. Since food prices can increase, right? My business, Nisha Food LLC, should track ingredients, the cost of your ingredient costs regularly, right? So whether you're using QuickBooks, whether you're using Square, I don't care what type of merchant account you're using, right? There's a lot of ways to track FreshBooks, Xero. Um, there are a lot of ways that you can track how much um, your food prices can increase, right? So if you want to track your ingredients, if you want to track your inventory, look at your prices to make sure you're making a profit. If you want to increase how much profit you want to make, instead of making 30%, maybe you want to make 50%. Y'all, it's in the software. And it's going to ask you verbatim. See, we're going to go over this and I'm going to start showing live examples so you can see me just in there playing around. I prefer QuickBooks. If you're using something else, that's fine. YouTube University. But I use QuickBooks. I can show you more of that, the ins and outs. And not only just for your business, but for your personal life too, right? We'll get to that later. Case in point is you can put all this in the QuickBooks, right? So you can track your inventory. Every time that you go, let's say you go into Costco or Food Depot or food restaurant, wherever you're going, right? We're talking about food right now. Boom. Every time you upload your receipts and your invoices for the things you're paying, it will itemize it for you, right? So if that paprika used to cost you $2 and now it's costing $5, it's gonna see that in there. It's gonna adjust these prices. You see what I'm saying? If you only have 6 bags of chicken left, you can set it up where to flag you. Because if you want to keep 10 at all times, it's gonna let you know that you're low, right? Or when you get to 15 bags, it's gonna start flagging you, telling you, hey, you got this much left. When you put this on your item list for next time you go to the store, right? Whatever it could be, whatever state that you're in. Say you serving in 2 different states. You're serving food in 2 different states. Okay, we in Tennessee and Kentucky. You see what I'm saying? Or Georgia, wherever in the South, somewhere in the South. I don't care if it was in Minnesota. The point is, we just using the South right now. So if you did that, okay, what a sale. I don't know if Georgia got sales tax or not. I don't know what Kentucky got going on. But whatever state you're in, you can use the same system. Now you in Kentucky. Now that you're looking at their sales tax. Now you in Texas. You know their sales tax. So if you are a traveling person who does food, you can understand what you got to do. You understand what I'm saying? So it would behoove you to use certain software that can do a lot of this for you, right? Don't get lost in too much. When you say, oh, wow, that's why people get overwhelmed. This is why people stop businesses. Use these tools. They're for you, personal and business, right? Y'all checking, you're rocking with me. So I'm just giving you a couple examples to help you, right? Now, think about this. What if you want to make or create a meal bundle or a special deal to attract more customers? You can do that inside there too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So just think about it, right? When I start giving you live examples, it'll make more sense. Today is the overview for you to understand how the breakdown of it goes, what you're looking for, what you're tracking, your inventory, how it's done when you're doing it for clothing, how it's done when you're doing it for food, and now we're getting ready to get into how you could do it for group homes. A couple people asked for this, so hey, guess what? We're gonna go ahead and break it down for you, right? I made this up. Find a group home LLC. That's right. How do you set service rates? For each rate, you have different formulas. They all. Don't worry. So if you're using QuickBooks or FreshBooks or it's a million of them, right? Whoever you're using, play with it first before you buy it, you know what I'm saying, and subscribe to it so that you would understand which one you need, right? Something always fits each one better than the other. Anywho, let's go ahead and go on
So
to
we're no longer contracted with your insurance. That's what happened. We're no longer contracted.
now. Sorry. Um, so um final groups, final group home LLC, right? Here we go. Group homes calculate rates based on expenses, right? So like caregiving, wages, utilities, meals, supplies. So if somebody's in a group home, right, whether an adolescent or youth, whoever, or you know what I'm saying, whether older, whether they're there for transitional, whatever it could be, okay? Somebody got to pay for them lights, somebody paying to feed you, somebody got to pay for the staff. Um, who paying for the toilet tissue and the soap? You know, like, so these supplies and things, somebody got to pay for, right? So a group home can charge per resident, right? Or per day, or set a monthly flat fee, right? Now, if you're in America, like most of y'all are, especially in the South, right? And most of my other people in California is cool. I got people from all over that join into these meetings. The point is, it's getting to the point that they getting ready to start charging for air. I mean, you're breathing. They trying to charge you, you know what I'm saying? For everything. So that's what I'm saying. If they charging you, you got to charge them, right? Get it how you live. That's all I'm saying. Now, don't beat nobody head in. We just talked about the whole spiritual aspect last week, but you have to make a profit. That's all I'm saying, right? So let's go with this scenario. Got a little scenario for you. Here we go. So find a group home. LLC has 5 residents now. 5. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay with me. So let's break down the monthly expenses because a lot of people, when they doing this type of stuff, they don't really think about what it all entails. And this is how people get beat out of their money and they close shop and things like that because they don't know. They don't know the price. So now you know. So rent and utilities, right? We're gonna say it's $3,000. It's probably 4,000 in America. Just go with the example. All right. Rent and utilities, we're gonna say that's 3,000 a month, right? Um, hang on, y'all. Here we go. Food and supplies, we're gonna say that's $1,700 a month, right? So for your caregiver salaries, who's your staff? We're gonna say that's $10,000 a month, right? The insurance for the house and whatever you gotta have to cover the people in there, we're gonna say that's $500 a month. That's right. Now, that would equate to a total monthly cost of $15,200, right? Let me go through that again. Rent and utilities, 3,000. Food and supplies, 1,700. Caregiver salaries, 10,000. Your insurance and whatever else miscellaneous, 500, right? The total cost is $15,200 for 5 residents. Remember? Y'all with me? Now, take the 15,200, divide that by 5. What do you get? The monthly rate. There you go. $3,000.40. That's what I'm telling you. Right? You take your total monthly cost, right? And you divide it by 5. Your monthly rate is now $3,000.40. Okay? Now you say, hey, I want to make a 20% profit. Okay? So $3,040 times 20%, or of course you would divide that and put that as a decimal. You would say $3,040, right, times 1.2, right? That's how you get the 3,648, right? Because you wanted to make a 20% profit. If you wanted to make a 50% profit, you would do the same thing, right? Whatever profit you want to make, that fluctuates. You will put that in there, right? Now, I know you're asking, well, how do I get to the daily rate? Well, let me go ahead and tell you. All right, so if you want to make the 20% profit, $3,648, all right, you would divide that by the number of days. So if there are 30 days in that month, you would divide by 30. That's how you would get the $121.60 per resident per day. Or if it's 31 days, right? Up to you. Now, could QuickBooks or whoever spit this out to you? Yes, they could, right? Now, I know some people had the question last week of, well, how do I know how much I pay my caregivers, or, your salary to your people? Depending on which state, we're going to do an example about that too. Depending on your state and your market, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if somebody's a caregiver, I don't know the proper names because this is not technically my lane, but you know what I'm saying, that whether they a DSP or a CNA or a tech or whoever, you know what I'm saying, you won't lowball somebody because they'll go work somewhere else. So make it to where you can attract and get people, and make it that it's a good environment that people will stay there, right? Some of the stuff we talked about last Wednesday. But anywho, let's keep pushing. What I want you to know and what I want you to consider is group homes should research Medicaid reimbursement rates, uh, private pay rates, right? And no matter what you do in any type of business, you would always have to research your local market pricing. Okay, so if there's 10 group homes, okay, to be competitive, what are the people paying there? Because if you beat somebody head in and you're charging $30 an hour and this person is charging 15 or 20, and y'all doing the same services, where would they go? Come on now. So this is what I tell you about greed. That don't always work. So if you're in the business that you're in competition with other people and some other people are doing the same thing, just like if it was a hair store, right? Okay, well, if this weave over here costing $400 and this weave over here costing $200 and it's about the same quality, you're gonna be out of business because they gonna come to where, right? So if your quality is better, this stuff over here yacky and tacky, and this over here, I don't know, Asian persuasion. Depending on what you're selling, it could work better. So make things unique. Specialize in something. Do something greater that'll keep people coming back and, to you. If you're going to charge a higher rate or a higher fee, it needs to be for a reason. You see what I'm saying? Make it worth their while, because if not, people will leave. All right? Now, also with paying people, some people get scared with that. Well, remember, probably Wednesday, we're going to talk more about payroll, right? And accounting software that can help you. QuickBooks can do it too, right? But payroll, so like ADP or Paychex and things like that, can help you with your financial management, right? So like I said, if you're not too good with math, this is not the time to panic, but it's the time to be prepared, right? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I can pay. Okay, numbers might confuse you. Okay, case in point. That's what payroll is for. Some banks will do it for you. I know me, and I can add, you're not gonna get over me, right? Numbers don't confuse me very well, right? That's what my business does. I can see it. This helps you with pricing and marketing strategies. This helps you financially to sustain and to grow, right? So if you're worried about payroll and things like that, don't worry. Over the next week, we're getting ready to learn about that, how you can see it, how you can run it, clickable button. It depends on what type of business you have, and we can help you get further along. That's why I tell you all in the chat or in Zoom, comment, say something. If it's something you want to learn or something you need to know, we're not going to know unless you do it. I just keep going with what I'm going with until somebody say, hey, go back over this or tell me this. And then we can help you. This group is to be a benefit to you. So benefit yourself and don't sit here and be shy. A lot of people don't know each other. You typing in the chat or, it's not going to hurt you. Okay. And we're going to go from there. So I just wanted you all to know that. I don't want to over talk it. Don't you overthink it. Now, we're getting ready to move right along to, guess what? Say you got a side gig right now and that you're going to make into a business, but you're trying to grow, right? No matter what business somebody's talking about, y'all, it starts in a home, right? We can argue about that later. Oh, that tea's still hot. It starts in your home, okay? Jeff Bezos, little bald-headed self, he started in his house, okay? Bill Gates, them started in their house. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. Get there. I want you to understand that, right? So with that being said, let's keep going. We're going to go with Beverly's Creations, right? She made scarves, hats, gloves. Y'all, I don't care what it was. It could have been some socks, some underwear, tidy whities, whatever you're doing, okay? It could be t-shirts. Just an example. Stick with me, right? So a handmade business must account for like their material cost, time, and come up with a pricing strategy to remain profitable, right? So whether you're using yarn or thread or I don't know, whatever you're using, right? You're supposed to be compensated for your time. A lot of people didn't seem to know that, but that's true, even in a nonprofit for another day. But I want you all to know that, right? So a common mistake in underpricing is due to not factoring in your labor, right? A lot of people go out of business because they're underpricing stuff. They're trying to get people over there. You can't always be cheap, right? Remember, I told you, in business, you don't have family, you don't have friends. You have a business, right? Business is business at all times. Never forget that, okay? I'm just letting you know because this happens all the time. Now, with that being said, Beverly creates and sells, Beverly Creation sells handmade scarves, right? So let's calculate some of her pricing, right? So you see some of the key costs: material, labor, time, right? Online store fees if she has one, or I don't care if you're selling it on Amazon or Etsy or I don't know, y'all. They got a million stores. One of them, all of them, right? And they may take a certain amount. So you have to price your things right so that you understand that, right? So let me go ahead and just, here we go. Don't worry about the chart. I'm going to talk you through it. All right. So for an example scenario, all right, here goes some pricing. Her yarn and material costs $5, right? Her production time, say she did 2 hours, right? If she want to make $15 per hour, if she did 2 hours, that's $30. Okay. So if packaging and shipping costs $5, right? Then her total cost is $40. Let's run back through that. Yarn and materials cost $5. Her production time of 2 hours is $30 because she want to make $15 an hour, right? The packaging and shipping, excuse me, costs $5. So that's a total amount of $40 right there. All right. 5 plus 30 plus 5 is 40. Okay. Now she wants to make a profit of 50%. Okay. 50% of 40 is 20%. But remember, you can just plug this in and say 40 times You know what I'm saying, 50%, or you could say 40 times 1.5. That's $60 per scarf, right? If she wanted to do that, right? Now, it could be the same. So just think about that. I gave you some examples here for a handmade scarf. If the total cost of everything in there is $18, right? And she wants to make 70%. There you go. Now you know how to get to it, right? So it's up to you, right? When you're making your own stuff and maybe you have a side hustle and things like that, you know how much you want to make per hour. You know how much you just want the total price to be, right? That's up to you to do the due diligence, but you can do it, right? She could also use a tiered approach, offering discount for bulk purchases or seasonal sales, right? In the fall or the winter. Well, y'all know it's gonna get cold. Okay. She may do discounts. You know what I'm saying? Say she wants to um she can use Etsy, Shopify, Square. Any of these can help manage online sales and shipping costs. So if you're using any of these platforms or any of these softwares or things like that, if you go in and say, I want to do 20% off, you could simply put it in there. Yeah. And it's going to spit the price and tell you what it is. Give you a little code, whatever you want to do. It's not hard. A lot of people just don't seem to know this, whatever. But I tell you what, you know your worth. All right. So, and you know your quality. So once people start receiving your merchandise, um, your products, if it's a good product, they're going to do what? Word of mouth. They're going to share it. They're going to put it on social media. They're going to share it. Right. If it's bad quality, people might want their money back. Things can happen. So just do good business, right? And that's what you ought to think about, because some people picky, some people want to, you know what I'm saying, just that crazy. Oh, I want this back. Hey, well, maybe you need to put in on your website or however you marketing. All sales are final, no refunds, something like that. I don't know, right? But I want you all to think about that, because that's the concept that a lot of people need to grab. All right. So that's where we at. So if you got a side business that you get ready to turn into a business and you're trying to come up with pricing, and I don't care if it was t-shirts, okay? So whether you use your Shopify, Printify, Getfly, somebody, this could help you, right? Now, let me exit out of here. Hold on, y'all, because I got some more marketing stuff I wanted to tell you all. So let me get out of there. Hold on. The real one, got to find y'all the other one. Cash flow. And let me make sure that you can see my screen. So hold on. Am I sharing the right screen? Stop share. And let me share this screen. Share. Okay. All right, y'all can see it now. We're gonna keep pushing. But anywho, I just want you all to see that and know that. But I'm gonna keep telling you something here. So go along with it. Now, for market rate and pricing formulas, right? It's important to compare competitor prices to ensure your pricing aligns with market demand, right? And that's something you would need to know. So if you're selling, right? So I did, or I don't know if I uploaded it, but I will after this. I always upload these PowerPoints and PDFs. So if you ever want to download them, you ever want to go back and look at them, especially in Facebook, it's in the group. It's under files. You'll have everything I've ever put there. I don't hide it. I don't speak verbatim to each slide because I speak, right? If you know, you know. So with that being said, I do want you all to be able to see that. Now this one, I wonder, I think I put it up already, so you could understand. I don't want to do this one yet because this is what I had later for Wednesday, but I just want you all to understand the importance of what it is to compare competitor pricing to ensure your pricing aligns with market demand, right? So I'll be dropping another one in the files, the actual table, a chart for selling prices, for profit, if you want to break even, how you can do that, for sales tax and daily group home rates, just so you could, you know what I'm saying? We spoke about it today. It's in the PDF that you all would understand. And when it comes to business budgeting, every business should have a budget to track your expenses and revenue, right? Remember, we went over budgeting and how to track it. But even within these other software systems, such as QuickBooks, you know, whoever you want to use, FreshBooks, Xero, it doesn't matter, right? They track your expenses and your revenue, which is what we're going to talk about come Wednesday. That's why you're looking at this slide. I'm ahead of myself. It's how you track your cash flow. So how to know if you have a profit, if you have a loss, so that when you start running your reports, you understand. Like, because if you're going for like loans and business, they will ask you, hey, how much did your business make? How much profit are you running each month or quarterly? They will want to know this. I'm going to be able to show you all how to do that and how to get there. So every business should have a budget to track and their expenses and revenue, right? So by tracking your costs and adjusting your pricing, your business can ensure that they maintain long-term sustainability, right? That you're making a profit and that you can grow. If you don't understand your money to whether you have a cash flow or not, whether your variable or your fixed prices are working for you, there's just some things that you won't understand. But I want you to, if you didn't take nothing else from today, take this. Pricing is more than just setting a number, right? It's about understanding your cost. It's about understanding market demand and profitability, right? So using tools like QuickBooks, PayPal, and Square can help you manage financially or more efficiently. You can use any of those. And QuickBooks, it does interface and work with other systems such as PayPal and all these different ones, right? They do the invoicing. You can pretty much do everything inside there. I only speak highly of that one because that's what I use the most, right? If you have any questions or anything you want to say, you know, the time is now. But think about the different ones and see how these pricing strategies can apply to your business. And if your business model wasn't up here, this is why I asked for you all to tell me what type of business that you have. I try to give examples in all areas, which is why we talked about today. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a side hustle, whether it's a group home, whether it's a clothing, whether it's a food truck or a restaurant, for each different one, you know what I'm saying? You can do different strategies, but you can still come up with how much you should price something for, what's your cost, how much you want to make an hour, how much you're going to pay people an hour. It just is different. So, Wednesday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. What are we going to start talking about? Cash flow. Whether you have a profit, I don't mind to click through this so you can see a little bit more, but just different stuff. How do you track your income and your expenses? We talk about business and personal here, right? Because it's important. I'm gonna give you examples, right? Yes, it's necessary for all loan and grant applications. They will ask you that, right? We're gonna talk about foreign, right, as well. We're gonna talk about allocation versus accumulation, investments in vehicles that you could do for that as well, right? We've already talked about life insurance. We'll go through it again. Tax strategies to improve cash flow, how money is like water. Remember last week it was deep. I went over time, but it's okay for you to understand. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, so that you all would know that. And then you would know, right? So I want you all to understand that. If you all have any questions today, I hope everybody understood. But I'm just trying to tell you what we have coming next week, and that's cash flow, right? After that, we're gonna go back into financial systems. Yes, all this is imperative in business plan and in your writing. What we will go over, why is Facebook pausing? Wait a minute. What we will go over next week also, right? Especially if time permits, I may need to do this one first, is that when everybody wants to do tax write-offs or tax deductions, they're not the same thing, right? So I want to express that more next week, that, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, oh, write everything off. If you're making a profit and your taxes say that, then yeah, you would want to write some stuff off. But remember, if you go and saying you made zero on anything, and especially on your income tax returns, and you go to buy a house or you go to do certain stuff within your business, you won't be able to do it. Why? Because you said you made $0. So y'all be careful with the stuff you see on social media of everybody thinking like, hey, oh, it's all good. All you got to do is say this, and this. They make it look real good until you go to a bank, until you go to somewhere and you're trying to get a loan or land or show that you have profit. I'll put it to you this way, right? I'll keep it simple. The more you make, this is where nonprofits come into play. This is at another time. You could use that for that. It's called tax strategies, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't know that, and I definitely want to go over that. Tax deductions, tax write-offs are not the same thing, right? Saying you made zero can hurt you more than it can help you. I'll put that out there right now. And then maybe we can get to that later. And maybe you all gonna have some questions about that. However, you need to know that, right? Just like if you're gonna be a 1099 and people tell you that that's tax-free. Indeed, it is not. That's why it is a 1099. And whatever business you got that from, right? As a contractor, they have to submit that. That's why it's on the 1099. So whether you tell Uncle Sam or not, it can come back to bite you later. All this is tax-free, and well, it's not. Your social, your information, that 1099, that business turns that in. So I'm just telling you, it goes deeper than what we know. Taxes, tax strategies, um, you need to know how to balance them. And I feel like we need to talk more about it so that you all are aware, if in case you are not. Right? So for you to write stuff off and to do all these things that you're saying, you need to make a profit. You need to have, well, you need to have cash flow, even if it was negative profit, right? You need to have flow coming in. It means services, business. You're not going to be able to fake everything. Same thing with payroll. Why do you need to run payroll? Right? So a lot of people go to the bank. I just give them my bank statement from your business. They're going to tell you that's nice. Where's the pay stub? Certain things they need. So don't let them online just trick your mind. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I feel like we need to speak more about that. And then we're going to go, you know what I'm saying, into the cash flow, the profit and loss statements. Most people don't know what P&L are. R and N is. We need to get you there, right? So if you're operating a small business, these are things you need to know, but it's going to affect you in your personal and in your business, especially if you have an LLC. If you're taxed as an S Corp, that's a little bit different. If you're not making 50K or more, you shouldn't be an S Corp, right? We need to get more into that so you all could understand. But right now, I'm just talking. I'm gonna open the floor. If you have anything on Zoom to say, you can chat it or you can come off mute and talk. If you're on Facebook, thank you so much for engaging me. If you have any questions or something that you want to talk about, then please let me know. But that's what's coming up Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thank you. Big salute to Zoom. I appreciate you. To God be the glory. I hope you all have a blessed day. So on Zoom, if you're good, we're good. On Facebook, I'm gonna give you some time to put it in the chat. I know it's a little bit of a lag, and let me know what's going on here. But these are just some of the things that run through my mind when I hear people talking, and I'm just like, it doesn't really work that way. A lot of people get lost on it. You made $0, but you think you're getting ready to go get this Lamborghini. You think you're getting ready to go get this big house. Not when you made $0 in your business, or it's not going to work that way, right? You have to know the tax strategies and the laws in order to be able to do these things. So just let me know what y'all thinking. I'm gonna give you time in the chat to ask me any questions if you have any. If not, you know what? God bless you. I appreciate you for tuning in, and for engaging me. I thank you for your time. To God be the glory for all things. So Facebook, I'm gonna give y'all some time. What you got for me? Thank you. Sometimes I'll be rolling a little fast, but we only got an hour, so I mean we can make it longer, but it's up to y'all. You need to let me know. Well, we can meet some other days. And let me know what's happening. So Facebook, y'all got anything else for me? Any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything you want to learn, anything else you want to do? You can let me know. Because right now, I don't see nothing. So I just want to thank you
All
for.
good, sis, on my end.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. They done hopped off Zoom. All right now, Facebook, y'all got any questions? Because if you do, I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing in the chat. Let me put in here, y'all good. Make sure that I'm still alive and can see it. Yeah, I'm still live. Okay. So with that being said, I hope y'all here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Salute to all my good people. I hope this live is not slowing down because I don't know why. I'm in the house. The internet is good over here. I don't know what the problem is. If you do, put it in the chat and I'll get back to y'all later, okay? Hope everybody has a blessed day. And a blessed week. Remember, manifest, stay positive, protect your energy, protect your mind and your heart. Do something to be generous this week. All right. Big salute to everybody. Peace and love.